Even if there's a breakup, when you have a breakup, you want to be very careful, because if you get into a breakup and you're stuck on what that other person did to you, every time somebody talks to you, they did this and they did that, and boy, I went through this, and you're always the victim. You keep talking about what they've done to you. You never get on what you've done to them, by the way, but you just stay on that over and over and over again. You think you're moving on to brighter pastures, but the fact that you keep speaking on that old relationship, the old trauma, what that person did to you, you're going to draw the same thing back to you, maybe in a different way. For instance, let's say you're a man or a woman and you went through some type of physical abuse, right? And you get out of that situation, you're going to a new situation, and in telling the person about the old situation, you say, man, I was so abused and I was so this and I was so that. And every time that person brings up a subject has nothing to do with relationships, you go right back to that. Every time you're triggered, every time you go back to the same thing over and over again. Now, this person might not physically abuse you, but the law of attraction might work still in a negative way. They might mentally or emotionally abuse you, still abuse. So talking about that abuse, you walked right into another abusive situation. Law of attraction working in a negative way. So I want you to be careful about that. Now, also, when you leave a job and you have a job interview with the new job might ask you about the old job. Here you go again. Man, my manager was this, and they treated me like that, and they were terrible, and this and that. Do you think you're going to get the new job? Do you think so? No, you're not going to do that. And as a matter of fact, you might have a situation where you might draw at the new job or the interview, you might draw the same type of person that you hated from the other job. This might happen. So I want you to be very careful. The whole point of what I'm saying is be careful what you speak. Be careful what you do. When something happens to you, yes, you are a victim in that moment, but I want you to get over it, get up, go on about your life, and I want you to not forget it, but I want you to forgive it, right? When you forgive it, when you forgive the situation, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you, so you can move on to another sector of your life. Because how can you do what you want to do in life if you're still thinking about what this person did or that person did? Because you're focusing on them. If you're focusing on yourself, you shouldn't be focusing on that stuff. So move on with your life and let it go to the next stage. You cannot progress and be the best version of you if you're still thinking about that version. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of pointers, a couple of things you can do to actually put the law of attraction into practice. Some practical things you can do. Yes, I'm probably one of the only people on the internet that are going to give you practical things you can do to use the law of attraction in the right way. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to decide what you want. Now, a lot of you are saying that that's easier said than done, Brother T. No, it's not. Because a lot of us think we want things, but we really don't really want it. For instance, everyone says they walk around, I want to be a millionaire, but I'm not even going to give a percentage. Most of those people don't want to do what it takes to become a millionaire. They just want to be it. They just want the lifestyle. They just want to be able to do whatever they want to do, but they don't want to put any work in. Once a person comes up to them and says, hey, I got a way you can get there. You need to do this, 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 and this. And once they see that laundry list of things, they go running, right? Because they really don't want it. They thought they wanted it. So the first thing I want you to do is decide exactly what you want. Once you know exactly what you want, I want you to be specific as you can be. Once you know what you want, I want you to write it down. Now it becomes tricky, right? Because translating it from your head to a paper is a little bit more to it, right? than what people think, right? Oh man, that's easy. And then so how how do I put it? Because you didn't know exactly what you wanted. But once you get to that point and you get it written down, now it becomes interesting because it's something that you can achieve. It's something tangible. It's something you're looking at. Either you go get it or you don't. You let it sit there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go out? Are you going to go after it? Are you going to achieve it? I believe in you if you believe in you. That's the only way. I want you to put your energy into getting it. That's the next step. Put your energy into getting it. Know what you want. Write it down. Put your energy into it. When I say put your energy into it, I want you to put as much energy as you can into it. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm not silly. I know that we have everyday lives. I know people have to work. We have to pay bills. We have to take care of the kids. So of course you have to do your everydays, right? But I want you to, in the meantime, in between time, I want you to start working on these things. Or if you just fortunate to have that free time and that free part of your life, I want you to start putting this stuff into practice as much as possible. I'll give you a little cheat code. When you write down what you want, exactly what you want, I want you to write down the details on how to get there, every little thing, right? And I want you to scratch off and start doing the things that are easier to do and the things that don't cost money, because you have no excuse for not doing that stuff, right? So that's a cheat code to get you jump started. So let's go over it again. I know I'm rambling, but I'm rambling for a purpose. Somebody's watching this and somebody needs this. I want you to know exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. I want you to get it down on something, a piece of paper or something. Type it, it doesn't matter. Once you get it down, you know exactly what you want. I want you to put energy into it. As much energy as you can muster, I want you to put on that thing. Now, this part is very important, even though it's gonna not make sense to a lot of you at first, but later on it will. I want you to let go of the expectation. Now, a lot of people that are gonna talk on this subject, they're gonna say the opposite. They're gonna say, you expect this to happen, and you say this, boom, 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 boom. Let the expectation go. Why am I saying that? Because if you hold too tight to your expectations, there are two things that can happen. One, you might not hit that expectation, and sometimes subconsciously we'll start beating on ourselves and we'll start being down on ourselves because we didn't hit our expectation. And or we'll put a limit, a box on ourselves because we only thought so high, right? So let go of the expectation. If you let go of the expectation altogether, then if you come a little bit short of that, you still haven't disappointed yourself, or you might get something that's 10 times greater that you didn't see before. If you had that expectation on there and you held so hard to that expectation, you probably could have kept yourself from getting a bigger blessing. That's how you are supposed to think. But no, I want you to be very careful on what I'm saying though, because I'm not saying set your expectations super low either, right? But what I want you to do is just know what you want, put it down, put as much energy as you can into it, and I want you to let go of the expectation. Let the world, universe, God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, come on, keep piling them up. Whatever you believe in, I want you to let them handle that part, right? You handle your part. Your part is going after what you want with your full intensity, energy, focus, all that stuff, right? That's what you're supposed to do. And if you can hold true to that, then I almost guarantee you that you'll be surprised by the results. I can't guarantee your results because I don't know you. I don't know how hard you're going to work, right? Can't tell you that, but I can guarantee you that you'll be surprised with the results if you really do it the way I'm telling you to do it. One more thing before we leave, I'm going to tell you that whatever you want, whatever you put on that paper, whatever you put your energy into, whatever expectation you're going to put on that thing, you can't get there if you don't know the frequency of that thing. Okay, I'm going to get weird to some people now. I'm going to get a little bit metaphysical with the way I talk, but everything on this earth has a frequency. This is serious. This is science. Everything has a frequency. This mic stand has a frequency. The mic has a frequency. Me talking through it, that has a frequency. My voice has a frequency. Every sound has a frequency. Every piece of matter has a frequency. Some frequencies vibrate so low that they don't move, they don't go anywhere. Some frequencies vibrate very fast and they move fast. Think of this. Think of somebody when they pass away, their body goes into the ground. What happens over time? Because their body is vibrating at a certain frequency. After a certain time, it decays. That's nothing but frequency. It's moving at a certain frequency. I don't want to lose people. All right, so what am I getting at? What are you getting at, Terry? When you want to get on the level of something or attracting something into your life, you have to get on that frequency. When you bring in stuff into your life and you want stuff into your life, you try to speak stuff into your life, be careful with what you ask for. Are you asking for it because you need it? Or are you asking because it's your desire? There's a difference. Okay, there's a big difference. For instance, some of you, well, let me stop picking on the ladies. Let's say you're a guy out there and you want a certain type of woman, right? She looks a certain way. She acts a certain, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? She looks a certain way. She acts a certain way. She's this, she's that. She's what you dream of, right? But if you're not coming to that certain frequency, if you don't match her on that frequency, you're not going to get what you want. Either that, or you're going to draw that type of person into your life and they're not going to like you. Get what I'm saying? So you can absolutely attract certain things temporarily if you don't match up, right? So I want this type of woman, that type of woman, that type of woman, boom, 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 boom. You might attract that person in the terms of them working with you. They work across from you. This is it. This is what I've been asking for. She might hate your guts. Get what I'm saying? But you still attracted that to you. Be careful with the law of attraction. I'm giving you the good and the bad. So you got to give Brother T props on this. So for this next example, I am going to go to another example of getting to a frequency. I'm going to give you an example of doing that. Because money has a frequency. Everything has a frequency. For example, and I'm going to give props to Bob Proctor, right? One of my favorites throughout time. And yes, I did get a lot of teaching from him. Not all, but enough to say that, you know, I know his style. And he used to give the example of a cell phone, right? So let's say you have the cell phone. This has a certain frequency on it automatically before you do anything. It has a certain frequency. It vibrates at a certain level. However, if I want to talk to you, if I want to have a conversation with you, what do I have to do, people? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? I think you know the answer, right? I have to call them. I have to dial a certain number. Once I dial a certain number on this phone, what happens is this phone matches with the frequency of your phone. You pick up the other line and we're having a conversation. How can I have this conversation if I did not match your frequency? Do that in life. Find out the frequency of what you want. Dial that number. Get on the frequency of that which you desire. And Brother T, you'll thank me later, right? You're gonna give me monetary gifts later too. I see that in my future, right? So do these things, put them into practice. Good luck to everybody out there, and we'll talk on this some more because sometimes this subject can get even deeper than what it did today. This is your man, Brother T. That was part 2, Law of Attraction. And we'll work it in later, baby. I gotta go. Peace.